Now, what Pepito wants, Pepito gets. I'm bringing back the recap videos for UFC events. Start with the dark cards, dark matches. I had said I thought that Matt Arroyo would win this one. Bit surprised that Kramer won, but there we are. It all sounded pretty good. And I guess it just shows that sometimes you don't need the experience on your record to beat somebody better. I believe Arroyo is now 1-2 in the UFC. Jake O'Brien and Christian Wellish. Again, I was a bit surprised that O'Brien won. I thought Wellish would win. And all of these seem to be pretty close and split decisions here. 29-28 Wellish and 29-28 twice for O'Brien. 29-28 twice for Kramer and 29-28 once for Arroyo. And as I will tell you later on, I was not completely happy with the judging on this event. Chris Wilson and John Howard. Again, I wanted Wilson to win and Howard won 29-28 twice over Wilson's once. Manny Gamborian, I did say I thought that he was supposed to lose to Thiago Tavares, which I believe ends a two-fight losing streak for Tavares. That was a unanimous decision, that one, 29-28. John Fitch and Akihiro Gono. John actually won quite well in this, 30-27 twice and 30-26 once. Again, they didn't show this match on the card, which they should have done instead of the Bonner match. They showed that one instead, and I can't help thinking that that was because that's political, that is. The UFC are not particularly happy with John Fitch at the moment. Okay, now I'm going to start to be able to tell you things that I've watched and the results. And there's been a lot of different opinions on the Nathan Diaz and Clay Guida match. Some people, some boffins I know, have ruled it a draw. It ended up being a split decision in which Guida won 29-28 twice. Now, I think that it was Nathan Diaz that won, and I shall tell you why. Certainly on their feet, Diaz was much, much better. On the ground, I think Diaz was able to hold his own, and it wasn't so much that, it was the fact that Guida had him in body locks for long periods of time. On the feet, I don't know if he was trying to take him down or just hold him, but the point was that I don't particularly class that as control unless you're actually doing something with it. Holding on to a guy for the best part of 10 minutes doesn't equal complete control in my mind, because you're not actually doing anything to them. You're just stopping them from moving. You could say that's control, but unless you use it, it's not effective. So, you know, I think he did enough to win that one. And when we get to Karo Parisian and Don Young Kim, I'm even more sure with this one that Kim should have won. Again, he lost for Parisian's 29-28 twice. But I really do think that round one was Kim. Now let me just have a look at this. See, I think round 1 and 2 were Kim, and I think round 3 might have been Parisian, but I'm surprised at that one. And that made me think that, you know, if I've disagreed with the judges twice there, and I don't know, all the other matches have gone to decision as well on the undercard, and I have to say I'm not just doing this to support my picks. Although I did pick Nathan Diaz to win, I picked Karo Parisian to win against Don Young Kim, and I was pretty sure after watching the match that Kim should have won that one. Thank goodness John Jones didn't leave any room for doubt in winning that one. 29-28 twice and 30 30-37, that should be 30-27, for John Jones, who won against Stephan Bonner. Again, the only good thing about having this card shown on TV was to highlight John Jones, but really I think it should have been Fitch instead of Stephan Bonner on this card shown on TV, but there you are. Now, Lyoto Machida and Thiago Silva, more impressive this time. Machida's obviously actually working harder to not just to dance but actually to fight as well. Unfortunately, I still recognised that there was a low blow by Machida to Silva during that match, and they had to stop for a little bit. So it just seems impossible now that you can go through a whole card without somebody who's at very high level doing a low blow. Anyway, the excitement came when Machida actually knocked Thiago Silva out right at the last second of the first round, and that end where they were on their feet, 3 seconds before the end of the round. So it was really quick takedown, and then he sort of plunged on him. Very exciting to watch. So, he's I have said in the past, been a bit critical of him, saying that he's a bit boring. I did watch him live. I did think he was a bit boring to watch. But if he has more matches that go like that, then I'm prepared to reconsider. He certainly tries as an individual very hard to speak English, as we learnt from watching the post-fight interviews. So perhaps I'm being a little bit harsh on him. Georges Saint Pierre and BJ Penn. Do not know what happened to Penn on this. Really, I expected it to be a close one. I expected neither person to particularly get dominated, and I expected BJ Penn to win within the first 3 rounds. Now, it soon became very obvious that if anybody was going to win at all, it was going to be GSP. Penn just had literally no answer, and I don't think I've seen Penn sort of bleed before, so to speak, and he was certainly doing that. I think his nose got busted up at one point in time. What happened was the bout was actually called between rounds, between the 4th and the 5th round, and it was his brother who stopped the match on the advice of the doctor. I don't know what happened. I wonder if it was the weight gain of moving up to that. But having said that, I didn't think he was that bad before when he was fighting at welterweight, and I don't know if it might have been nerves, whether he'd actually sort of got that worked up about this being sort of his big legacy night, that it affected him sort of psychologically. I just don't know what happened to him, but it was quite a domination, and by the time you'd watched the first 2 rounds, whether you liked BJ Penn or not, and I do not, I have to say, I didn't really want to watch the rest of the match because it was quite obvious what was going on. Ironic, really, that it was called between that his brother calls the match between the rounds a bit reminiscent, just slightly, of sort of the dismissive let's finish this that Penn did against Shirk at the end of one of the rounds when those two met. But there we are. So that's my recap video. Didn't do very well on my picks, I'm afraid, but I'm not sure I got one. Oh, I did get Lyoto Machida. And that might have been about it. No, I got John Fitch as well, that's 2. Oh, I got Thiago Tavares, that's 3. So that's 3 out of 10. I'm doing very well at this.